I became a multi-millionaire at 28 years old, but if I had to go back and make my first $10 million in the next 12 months, this is exactly what I do. And if throughout this video, you keep thinking to yourself, $10 million is insane, then I probably can't help you. But if you're one of the select few who are willing to do the work, this video is your blueprint. So let's start with month number 1. Do the money math. Before we can make 10 million, we need to break it down. That way it makes it more realistic, because you could sell 100,000 things for $100. That's like consumer level. You could sell 10,000 things for $1,000 each. That's usually what the small business transaction size is. You could sell 1,000 things for $10,000 each. That's usually mid-market. Or you could sell 100 things for 100,000 each. That's more enterprise level sales. The whole idea I'm going to teach you is to sell less for more money so that you have less work to do. You hear this analogy all the time in sales where it says, look, you can go hunt rabbits, you can hunt deers, or you can hunt elephants. Elephants get a lot of meat, but you have long sales cycle and they're hard to find. It's more complicated. Rabbits, you can get some of them, but you don't have a lot of meat on the bone. Whereas if you get a good deer or a buck, that's what you want to be aiming for. This is why I love going mid-market. They're easier to find, quicker to sell to. They buy faster, and they have the highest price for effort. If I wanted to make $10 million this year, I would pick a mid-market opportunity, meaning I would try to sell something around $10,000 a transaction because it's got more meat on the bone. So I can sell less things for more money. So now that you've got your math right, let's get focused. Month 2, pick the right business model. The right business model can either make you or break you. I've seen people be in business and go 7, 8, 12 years without ever making $1 million a year. You can do 10 in your first year if you choose the right model. You know that saying that says you don't bring a knife to a gunfight? You have to choose your weapon of choice. The wrong one can literally ruin you no matter how skilled you are. I had a buddy a long time ago, he had a design shop and everything he did was custom. And we sat down because he was struggling to grow. He felt overwhelmed. I had him do this. Interview your clients and ask them the simple question, what did you pay for from us that created the most value? It turned out of all the work he did, helping people figure out their brand strategy, their messaging, and their positioning, what they called the dig, was the most valuable thing they could do. All we did was package his service into a product, and that allowed him to focus on his marketing, his sales, and his delivery model. So if you want to get to 10 million, you need to lock in the right business model. Usually at this point I get asked, what are the business models that exist? There's only really 4. 1 is you sell a product. That can be a physical product or a digital product. 2 is you sell a service. And usually you're either selling time, your time or somebody else's time, or an outcome. The 3rd is you sell knowledge. This could be in the form of coaching, consulting, courses, but essentially it's information. Incredible margins, but you obviously need to know what you're doing. And the 4th is you sell connection. You get paid to connect people with each other. But how do you pick the best one? Number 1 is you have to match it to the money math. So for example, if I'm selling enterprise, okay, $100,000 average deal size, and I wanted to sell 100 of those to get to my 10 million, then it probably means I'm going to sell a high ticket service, right? Let's think about security audits or like some high price point thing, or an enterprise software as a service, right? Essentially, your money math has to tie to the business model. The second part is you have to check the market demand. So ask yourself, do buyers already spend money on this? The amount of entrepreneurs that make it up, products, business models, never asking, do people already spend money on this, and validate that only to like build a bunch of the business to then go talk to a potential customer and have the person say, we would never do that or we'd never buy that, is wild to me. So skip that. You don't have time to waste if you want to get to 10 million in 12 months. And 3rd is you have to play to your strengths. So for example, if you're skilled, then you might want to do like a service agency type thing. If you want to sell knowledge, that works, but hopefully you have credibility and results around the thing that you're going to sell. And if it's a platform or a product, well, that only works if you know how to scale those things. If you've never done it before, you don't have the time to learn and try to get to 10 million in a year. If I wanted to make 10 million this year, I'd pick a product-based business because it's easier to scale with a service aspect so I can earn money while developing it, but we'll cover that later. All right, you've got a business model. Now let's get ready to sell it. On month number 3, here's what we're going to focus on. Craft your offer. The difference between somebody that's struggling in business and someone that can do 10 million in their first year comes down to their offer. Your offer isn't what you sell, it's the way you package it, the value, the outcome, and the transformation your customer can't ignore. Think of it like fishing. The product is your hook, but the offer's the bait. If the offer is irresistible, the fish goes, "Rawr." It bites at the bait, but it's the hook that keeps them in. I remember a founder, he was like, I'm doing all this stuff. He's got this marketing company. The problem is that his offer was too vague. It was like everything to everybody. I was like, go back to your customers and find out what's the thing you do that is like the most valuable. He came back to me and then we just recrafted his offer. We changed it from we do marketing to we'll get you 100 qualified leads in 90 days, guaranteed, or we'll work for free until we do. Within friggin' weeks, he was closing more deals that he knew what to do with. Why? Because the offer removed the doubt, it created urgency, and it promised a clear transformation. So how do we make this happen for you so that you can get to 10 million this year? We need you to craft an irresistible offer. And we'll do this in 4 easy steps. 1, have a clear promise. Nobody buys coaching or software. They buy the results. Ask yourself, what is the transformation your client really wants, and make the offer that name. 2, include a risk reversal. If you can remove the fear, it makes the yes a no-brainer. My son the other day bought a course, and as he's reading the FAQ, he literally says to me, "Dad, they have an area where there's questions that people have asked, and somebody asked, is there a guarantee? And they said, yes, 100% money back guarantee if you don't get the results. So I'm going to buy it." I'm like, cool. It removed his fear of it not working for him. Number 3, stack the value. See, the offer is the initial transformation, but I always ask myself, what's like the next part? What does a person get stuck on? So I think about bonuses really overcoming objections. So if they're like, oh, I won't have time to do this, maybe one of your bonuses is a productivity tip so that helps them overcome that I don't have time to implement this. Number 4, we have to build scarcity and urgency. The truth is, selling is nothing more than holding the hand of a buyer to cross a bridge they're afraid to walk across. So scarcity and urgency helps them make that decision. So we have to have limited spots or some kind of deadline or some capacity cap to force action. But the key is it can't be a lie and just get people to make a decision. You have to have something that's exclusive. So if you want to make 10 million this year, you need to design an offer that feels so unfairly valuable that the customer couldn't help but say yes. And to make this easy, if you want my exact offer template that you can copy and paste into your business, just click the first link in the description and I'll send it over to you. So now that you got your offer, let's just make sure that you deliver it in a way that blows your clients' minds. Which brings us to month number 4, under promise, but over deliver. Imagine this, you go to a restaurant super popular and they say, look, we can promise you a 30-minute wait and then you're gonna sit down. But within 10, you get your seats. All of a sudden, something that was like a 30-minute wait turns into like, that was awesome. Even though the food hasn't hit the table, you have a positive perception of this restaurant. That's the power of setting expectations lower and then knocking them out of the park. One time I was coaching this guy named Max. He had a software and he was getting in trouble because he had this tendency to just overcommit. Every time a customer would ask for something, he'd be like, yeah, we're building it. The problem was that he would always be delayed. So I said, look, just reset the expectations. Just acknowledge the feedback, thank them for it, and say, I'll share with the team. So then all of a sudden now you made no commitment to a timeline. But behind the scenes, especially for your best customers, you prioritize the feature in the roadmap, which meant it got built faster. And then all of a sudden the customers, your favorite customers, are seeing things get shipped twice as fast than they expected. And the coolest part is Max saw his NPS score, his net promoter score, double in 6 months, which meant his customers were referring people to him. These are 3 easy steps to apply this. The first is set conservative promises. It's better to have an irresistible offer, but when people onboard, manage the expectations lower than what you can deliver, even if it's by a few days, so that you're always able to surprise and delight. Number 2, surprise with speed. See, early delivery equals delighted customer. So as soon as they come into your world, I want you to do what's called a quick wins. Write down all the ways you can get them a quick win. My fitness coach, Alan, has this thing called a 16-day cleanse. That 16-day cleanse, on average, people release 14 pounds. That is a quick win. Number 3 is deliver more than promise. So if you offer these bonuses, what if you added an extra one? If you said you get a call with one of your account specialists, why don't you offer them 2 calls or 3 calls? Maybe you send them an unexpected gift in the mail just to be like, thank you for becoming a customer. Handwritten notes go a long freaking way. Again, if you wanted to make $10 million this year, I would build trust by making every client feel like they got 10x more than they paid for. Okay, now you're delivering like a pro. But if you want to scale, you can't do it all yourself. Which brings us to month number 5. Buy back your time to scale. See, your business will not scale past the constraints of your calendar. If every dollar earned takes you more direct time out of your calendar, you will burn out way before you break 10 million. I was coaching one of my private clients, and this person, no slouch, almost 100 million in revenue. But when I audited his calendar, he was spending 80 hours a week doing everything. Every decision, even though he had talented people, came back through him. Bottleneck, bottleneck, bottleneck. All we did was map out his calendar and then just hired a support staff at the early stage around him. All of a sudden, he had 30 hours a week freed up. And then he took that time, he reinvested it into strategies around sales and marketing, doubling the business without working more. That is the power of buying back your time when you understand where you're blocked at the lowest level. Imagine you own a factory where you, the person, builds the whole product all by yourself. At first, no biggie. You can take a little bit more time here and there, and you can just work longer hours to make it all happen. But you want to grow. 10 million is no small feat. Well, all of a sudden now you need an assembly line where different people train, do different things. They handle different machines at different steps. That way the factory can keep producing more without depending on only one person. If you don't learn how to buy back your time, you're that one person. This is the buyback framework. The first step is we have to audit your time. You got to look at your calendar and identify what are the $10 tasks stealing your time from working on tasks worth $10,000 or more. If you look at 10 million a year and you divide it by 2,000, that's the amount of hours within a year. That's what the value of your time has to be worth. You have to show up and execute at that level. Second is you have to transfer anything that doesn't feel incredibly valuable, that lights you up, that makes you a lot of money, to somebody else. The best way to do this is to eliminate it or just delegate it. You might struggle getting to the next level, not because of adding more, but by getting rid of stuff. You have to eliminate to move forward. But if you delegate, let's delegate low value tasks first, because from a dollar investment, it's the best use of your money. And then third is we have to fill. We have to fill the calendar with things that are going to grow your business. Okay. So this is where you go immediately to marketing more, sales more, removing the bottlenecks in your delivery, but also in you, in your leadership, in your mindset. See, what I've discovered is people don't create $10 million. They attract $10 million by becoming an attractive person, meaning that you're somebody that people want to work for, partners want to support you. You're somebody that shows up regardless. That discipline and consistency, those are areas of reinvestment to fill your calendar with developing those skills and showing up that way. Again, if you want to make 10 million this year, you have to become obsessed over removing yourself from low value work and buying back your time. Now that you've freed yourself from all that busy work, let's get AI working for you so delivery scales without breaking anything. Now we're going to month number 6. We have to systematize everything around delivery with AI. Sometimes I feel like a broken record, but if your business isn't using AI to deliver, you'll just never get to 10 million. It's impossible. The cool thing is today I'm working with teams, 2 people, fully deployed AI across the business, 10 million in revenue. That is the new norm. Think about it through the same lens as that factory analogy we just used. You're making a car. It takes an engine, a body, 4 doors, and 4 tires to make a car. But you can only make 1 car per day because you're doing everything yourself. You could unblock yourself by hiring people, but you know what's cooler is get some robots in there. No human involved, no smoke breaks, no complaining, 24 hours a day. You can use AI in your business, and it needs to be if you want to get to 10 million. Now, where should you use AI? That's where I go back to this concept called the theory of constraints. So you can figure out where to place AI inside your business. Here's how it works. Number 1 is we have to identify the number 1 constraint or bottleneck in your business. It could be in some aspect of marketing where you're not generating enough leads because there's a bottleneck in your conversions. It could be in sales where people are spending too much time doing follow-up when you could maybe get the sale to happen on the first call. We got to identify the one bottleneck that if we fixed it, it would increase the throughput for the whole business. Number 2 is you have to target the constraint. I want you to focus on that one thing and just absolutely attack it and give yourself permission to ignore everything else. Number 3, solve the constraint using AI. Look at AI automation, AI agents, or intelligent workflows to 10x that weak point. So not only do you solve it for the current throughput, as the system grows, it never becomes a bottleneck again, because AI can scale as quickly as you ask it. Here's a couple quick ways that AI can solve constraints. Number 1, customer support bottlenecks. First place you should deploy them. You should have AI as chatbots knowledge-based articles. They should handle all frequently asked questions instantly. Number 2 is content and document bottlenecks. Why are you creating standard operating procedures when you could just ask it to create it based on all the world's knowledge and best practices? If you want to check out a tool that does this for you, check out trainual.com. You give it videos of you recording stuff and it creates a whole standard operating procedure for you for free. Okay, third is any kind of delivery speed bottleneck. So you can have project managers, product managers, monitor deadlines, assign tasks, and flag things for risk, all through AI. And the fourth is just quality bottlenecks. For me, this is about auditing. I can set up a listener to watch marketing ads, listen to sales calls, talk to customers on my behalf through AI voice and phone calls, and ask them for feedback, all without adding people to my team. If you want to make 10 million this year, you have to become obsessed over implementing AI into your delivery process so scale feels easier, not harder. So now that AI is working for you, let's start by hiring more help. Month number 7, hire light, talent heavy. Most founders think scaling means building huge teams. Wrong. Scaling means hiring fewer people, but they're freaking A players who can move mountains, not a bunch of armies of B players who drain you. It's kind of like the Navy SEALs. I want a lean, elite, unstoppable team. They're specialized. They're the best of the best. You can afford to pay for that. If you don't, you're going to pay for it. It's just in delayed results. See, one founder I advised had over 40 employees, and it was constant chaos. He cut 3/4 of his team, literally 30 people. He rebuilt his hiring strategy, got A players, got culture fits. He scaled past the 10 million with just 15 world-class players. You gotta think revenue per employee, not team size. So here are 4 easy steps to hire to get to 10 million in 12 months. Number 1, hire for the outputs, not the hours. I'm a fan of looking for proven results. People's past performance will predict future results. Hiring people that come with playbooks is a cheat code. Number 2 is use the scorecards. That way you define success before you hire them. Literally give them the scorecard and say, hey, when you join, this is what I'm going to hold you accountable to. That way they know how to play the game. Number 3 is pay above market for A players. Most people won't join your team to get rich. They'll probably join because of culture and fit and the freedom. But you want to be able to pay above market so they can feel good about taking some risks, joining your early team to have them come in and flex their muscles to help you get to that 10 million level. Number 4 is you got to cut fast. B players create drag. Don't hesitate. A players are undeniable. They're drivers. You're not going to wonder, is this the right person? B players are the ones that are going to make you second guess yourself. If you want to make 10 million this year, you have to hire a small team of killers who could do the work of 10 each. So now that you've got the talent strategy figured out, let's build the engine that fuels real growth. Month number 8, build a growth engine. Revenue without predictability is gambling. To hit 10 million, you need a growth engine, a repeatable system that consistently drives lead sales and revenue without you guessing. If you're wondering, will I hit my numbers this month? You haven't built what I'm talking about. Think of it like a car engine. You don't push the car every time and wonder, is it going to turn on? No, you push the button, the car starts every time. That builds trust, it builds consistency, it builds predictability, which is how you grow your business. So there's only 3 growth channels that you have to perfect. Number 1 is outbound. This is any kind of outbound, tapping someone on the shoulders, knocking on a door, having some rhythm of salespeople, outbounding, messaging people, asking if they have these problems, seeing if they want help to solve it. Very important. The second is inbound, creating content, showing people that you know your stuff, case studies, educating the market, creating content that is indexed by the search engine so people find you. That is the foundation for your growth engine. And third is partnerships. And this is my favorite because if you do it right, you don't pay anything until you get the customer. If you find somebody wants to do a joint venture, somebody to be an affiliate for you or be a channel partner, they'll essentially support you to get in front of their customers or get in front of the market, sell your service or product, and then you only pay them after you collect the cash. That creates a very efficient growth engine. If you'd want to make 10 million this year, I would lock in at least a dozen partners to promote for you and ensure you have a strong inbound channel that builds credibility for yourself. Without it, you won't be producing leads daily. You've got leads flowing in. Now let's turn them into paying customers with a conversion machine. Which brings us to month number 9. We got to create a conversion machine. Conversions are the bridge from interest to income. If you want to make 10 million, your sales process has to feel like a machine. Predictable, reliable, and scalable. It's kind of like that factory line I talked about. Raw materials go in, finished products come out. You don't want random outcomes, you want consistent outputs. Remember I was chatting with a guy on Instagram and he was closing 10% of his leads? I'm like, dude, that's kind of shitty. So all we did was re-engineer the sales process. I literally gave him like a simple script to change the discovery to the closing sequence, to preload objections to make them obstacles. 3 months later, he circles back, 30% close rates. And obviously his revenue skyrocketed. Why? Because we built the machine. So here's how you build a conversion machine. Number one, you have to have a scripted sales process, meaning that you never ever talk to somebody, today's sales call, where you don't follow a process. Boom, 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 boom. I have a 9-step process that I teach every one of my coaching clients. And if they deviate, I get upset because pros don't do that. When you have clarity around the process, it builds your confidence to sell. Number two is you have to train relentlessly. A players rehearse. They practice. That's why most professional sports teams practice, play. Rehearse, show up, close. Number three, they automate the follow-up. See, most sales are not made on the initial call. They're made through the follow-up sequence. If you build a value-based follow-up sequence, you're going to win the revenue. Number four, you have to track metrics. You need to know your closing rates, your cycle times, how quick deals come together, and how big the average deal size is so you can do some predictability into your sales pipeline. If you want to make 10 million this year, you have to become obsessed over building a sales machine that turns every qualified lead into a customer. So once your conversions are strong, now it's time to stack the holy grail of business. Month number 10, stack that reoccurring revenue. One-time sales keeps you hustling. Reoccurring revenue builds freedom. At 10 million, you want revenue that stacks month over month without starting from zero. My brother used to hate it. He'd sell houses. He's like, every year I start at zero. I sell software. I'm building a revenue base. To do that, you need a subscription business. Think about it like a gym. They all have subscription businesses built into it. Members pay every month, whether they send an invoice or not. The beauty is that it's reoccurring, meaning the gym owner can stack that reoccurring revenue and bank on it so they can make better decisions about how to grow the business. The cool part is there's only 4 ways to create subscription revenue in your business. The first one is to have a tool or a service that people pay every month for, like a software subscription or a gym membership. Number 2, retainers. Think of it like for an agency business or consultants, getting paid every month for the retainer service to be available to answer questions. Great way to create recurring revenue. Number 3 is maintenance or support plans. And this is all about upselling after you get the deal. So you get the deal, you sell maintenance or ongoing support. Number 4 is communities and masterminds. This is a great one because it's really easy to put together. Customer comes in, you sell them into some kind of back-end community or mastermind, make it exclusive, have them pay every month. That creates that recurring base. If you want to make 10 million this year, I would design your business model so that at least 30 to 50% of your revenue comes in before the month even starts. Recurring revenue gives you stability. Now let's scale beyond yourself so you're not the ceiling. Month number 11, you got to become the CEO. If your business needs you to run the daily operations, you don't own a business, you own a job. The 10 million a year entrepreneur, they've scaled beyond themselves by becoming the architect, not the operator. Think of it like a music producer. They don't sing the song. They sit there and they produce, they coordinate, they instruct, they design the framework for how to put the song together and how it plays into the overall album. That's how you want to operate your business. These are the 3 ways to invest in your business to scale beyond yourself. Number 1, you have to build the brand of the company, not you. Like a lot of people get stuck in the business because they're the thing they're selling. You want to make sure the business is marketed, the business methodology, the business structure. That's where you have to shine the light on other people in the business. We all saw Steve Jobs do this with Tim Cook and then Tim Cook with his whole team at Apple. Number 2 is you have to install leaders. These aren't just managers. These are literally people that lead departments. The key is they own outcomes. You don't tell them what to do. They come to you with strategy. They own the outcomes. They're the ones that produce results. They're drivers inside your business. The third is you have to shift to a visionary role. This means that your job is about the vision, the money, and the people. You give direction. You should be talking 18 months into the future. You're not handling the day-to-day details. If you want to make 10 million this year, you have to make yourself replaceable in every aspect of the business. So now that you've scaled beyond yourself, here's the final step. Month number 12, package your business to sell. Whether you plan to sell or not, you should build it like you will, because a business you could sell is an incredible business to own. You have your standard operating procedures written. You have a great recruiting process. You have a great compensation strategy to retain your top talent. You have a product that's killer. You're an innovator. You have the brand. Those are all things that buyers would love to pay top dollar for. One time I had a client I was coaching in SaaS Academy, and he didn't want to sell. He's like, look, it's very profitable. I want to keep it, but I want to make it easier to run. So we just cleaned things up. We created infrastructure. We deployed software to take care of financials in the CRM. And look, somebody came along and made him a 9-figure offer. Okay. As much as he loved the profit he was making every month, he also realized he could take the rest of his life off and travel the world with his family. So he decided to sell. So here are the 3 things you need to do to package your business for an exit. Okay. 1, we have to clean up the financials. Look, most businesses have 2 sets of books. They got the real books and the books they give to the government for tax season. Clean it up. Just make sure you're clear. No messy books, clear profit margins. Number 2, we have to remove the founder dependency, essentially the risk on you for the business to run. It has to be able to run without you. So you just build the rhythms for planning and execution and hiring. That way it can keep getting better without you involved in the day-to-day. Number 3, we have to document systems. A repeatable, documented checklist for every core area of the business, the manuals, the processes, the org charts, like make it really clear and documented so a buyer could come in and understand how to run your business, even if they've never touched that industry before. And if you execute every month, that's the 12-month playbook to get to 10 million. Each step compounds on the last one. And not only can you hit 10 million in revenue, but you'll own a business that could run or sell without you. If you made it all the way to the end, you're my kind of person. Somebody that showed up, ready to learn, kept in it, didn't give up, sounded insane, but hopefully you saw that I could deliver on my promise. See, most people think you have to be right to start. You just got to pick to start, right? It's not about making the right decision. It's about making the decision right. And because you made it this far, make sure you download my offer template. It's below in the first link in the description, so you can implement that into your business today. And if you want to learn what are the best and worst businesses to start before 2026, click here and I'll see you on the other side.